Spend the full day with us going to Huacachina and Paracas via Peru Hop. Now, I know I already did a full vlog on what we did in Peru. However, I felt like there wasn't a lot of detail on when to book, where to book, how to book, and all that is included in the trip. So I feel like making this video is going to help a lot of people out there. Hopefully it does. I don't know. I think planning this trip was the hardest thing out of everything that we did. No, actually, I take that back. Planning this trip was difficult, but not as difficult as climbing Rainbow Mountain, which you'll see in a later vlog. Now, Peru Hop, it was highly recommended because they actually travel around Peru, and I believe they travel around different locations as well outside of Peru. And it gives you a sense of safety and completion when traveling with them. So because we stayed in Airbnbs, we had to meet them at a particular hotel that is very close to us. Now, in order for us to do that, we just gave them the address that we stayed at via WhatsApp, and somebody will message you right back. They honestly made it very easy for us to find a pickup spot. So we finally got on our bus. We had to pick up locations and stops of everyone that we were picking up. And by the time we picked up everyone and started our main route, we got in a car accident. So now we had to switch buses. So it kind of delayed us a little bit, but besides that, everything else went pretty smoothly. So the actual day of the tour, you have a tour guide which will send you, put you in a group chat on WhatsApp, and it will talk to you via that point. Now, our tour guide was great. She was Seoul. She gave us specific instructions on where to meet, how to meet, and the time frames of every single thing going by. So every tour, you're gonna start crack of dawn, early in the morning. We talk about like 3 a.m. or a little bit earlier, depending on where we're going and what we're doing. So our first stop was Paracas. Now this drive took maybe like 3 to 4 hours, I believe. I'll put it on the screen if I was wrong. However, it kind of remind me of when you come off a cruise, you have all the stores and locals selling different things. It was a cute little area. That's kind of what it reminded me of. So when we started to go on the water, I started to get scared because, listen, I get seasick. I'm not a water girl. It's just not something, you know, I like to do for fun, but this was the only way to get to Huacachina. I'm pretty sure if we went separately, we would have paid less money. I absolutely enjoyed the experience. The boat ride was so calming. It wasn't too crazy. We saw like sea lions, we saw penguins, we saw pelicans, and we even get to see geological markings in the sand. I forgot the actual name of it. However, they did have a separate tour that you can get in a helicopter and see the views from above, but on the ground in the water is totally fine by me. Once that was completed, we had the option to go eat by ourselves or eat with a buffet that Peru Hop recommended. Now, we did choose a buffet. However, I will not choose a buffet again because to me, the food there was not that great. I will say the whole trip in Peru, the food was amazing wherever we went, but this one, it just wasn't hitting for me, and I just had to eat because honestly, we paid for it, and secondly, I had no other choice and we were running out of times because, like I said, the accident did keep us back, so we had to hustle through a lot. So now it's time for Huacachina. Now this trip took us maybe like an hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours to get to this location, but this is the dune buggies. This place was extremely fun. Now I would recommend before you get here to probably get like a mask to go over your face and your mouth because that sand was all over the place. It was a lot, but it's a steep climb to get up to the dune buggies in order to go see the full view. But I will honestly say this was the best time ever. Now, on roller coasters, I do get motion sickness, but here, honey, I was cracking up. Like, I had the time of my life. To be quite honest with you, I wouldn't recommend this tour if you're pregnant or injured in any type of way because the way those drivers were driving on that sand could be very dangerous. But once you finally made it to the top, it is so beautiful. We got to pull out our drones, take pictures, do videos, do whatever we want to do, and then the fun began. We had 3 different drops. Now, I am not that daring, so I only did the first drop, but there was a second and a third, and let me tell you, it was scary, but it looked like my husband and they had a lot of fun. I just wasn't gonna risk it. So finally sunset happened, and we have sunset above the whole view, so we can see the whole island, and it's very small, very secluded. Once we finished taking our last breathtaking views, we finally made it down with the dune buggies, and we grabbed something quickly to eat and head back on the bus. The tour guide gave us some popcorn as a surprise, which was amazing. 10 out of 10. I highly recommend this. You do get back really late, but it's just a full day of fun and excitement. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on my next tour review. Bye.